We kick off the heart of the Mac Red schedule tonight on Macomb Township Government Access. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brad Fetters, joined once again by Adam Abraham as we come to you tonight from L'Anse Creuse North High School, home of the Crusaders, as they match up tonight with the Eisenhower Eagles in boys varsity basketball. And Adam, we start out our coverage tonight with the Eisenhower Eagles. They're coming off a really tough loss to Dakota, but they had one really bright spot.
And that's Mateo Candela. He's a utility player for this Eisenhower offense. He can shoot the ball. He can attack the rack. He had 27 points. He actually outscored Ryan Rollins, one of the favorites to be MAC Player of the Year for Dakota this year. And he's really a fantastic player for this Eisenhower offense. And L'Anse Creuse North is really going to have to work hard to lock him down today.
Both of these teams come in with 1-1 records in league play. They're looking up at Roseville and Dakota, who are a perfect 2-0, but those two teams hook up tonight. So one of these two teams is going to go 2-1. As for L'Anse Creuse North, they're coming off an impressive victory on the road against Chippewa Valley.
Yeah, and they took that game at Chippewa Valley. That's not a friendly gym to play at. That's a tough win. They're finally coming home to start MAC Red play for them. This is a great gym for them to play. 6-1 after a tough season last year. They're really amped up, ready to play today.
One of these two teams is going to keep the pace in the MAC Red and improve to 2-1 here tonight. Can't wait to call the action. Starting lineup and opening tip coming up next right here on Macomb Township Government Access.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back inside the Dave Jackson Memorial Gymnasium. Let's meet the starting lineups for both teams. First, for the Eisenhower Eagles, number 2, Chris Caladino. Number 11, Jake Munn. Number 24, Mateo Candela. Number 32, Mario Gita. And number 34, Luke Adamchek. And for the home team, the L'Anse Creuse North Crusaders, head coached by Jay Seletsky. Number 5, Makai Johnson. Number 10, senior captain Jordan Brassett. Number 20, Christian Johnson. Number 34, Charles Riley. And number 40, Jamari Mack. L'Anse Creuse North comes in with a record of 6-1, 1-1 in MAC Red play. Eisenhower with a 3-5 record, 1 up, 1 down in MAC Red play. L'Anse Creuse North in their throwback white jerseys with black numerals. Eisenhower clad in blue with white trim. Jamari Mack going to give it a go in the center circle along with Luke Adamchek for Eisenhower. And the tap is controlled and won by L'Anse Creuse North. They will open offensively here tonight. Kai Johnson on the right wing side penetrates, pulls up, dishes it out. Christian Johnson has it right hand side into the corner for Johnson. Ball ahead. Inside to Charles Riley, right back out. Crusaders swing it around the exterior. And we'll have Jamari Mack call for the traveling violation.
L'Anse Creuse North really a team that's going to focus their intentions today on defense. They love to run those half-court sets. Very patient there, just an unfortunate travel, but good golf ball movement.
And you mentioned getting back to basics perhaps for this LCN squad, and really for them, it's that old school basketball, getting it done on the defensive end first. 3 on the way for Eisenhower, long. That ball hit the very top of the backboard. Might have also hit the stanchion above the net. That probably should have been out of bounds. It doesn't matter as the ball goes over to LCM. Crusader team that's averaging exactly 50 points per game, only giving up 44 points per game as they're looking for a little backdoor alley-oop play. Cut off well by Eisenhower, but LCM will maintain possession. A terrific curl inside. Nice dump-off pass. And the first bucket of the game belongs to Charles Riley. 2-0 lead for LCM.
Yeah, good job there by Riley to get on the glass. This is a very aggressive LCN team. That was 3 rebounds right there for Riley. Finally was able to cash one in.
Caladino, the 6-foot guard for Eisenhower, flips one over to Candela. You mentioned Candela, a player to pay attention to here tonight for Eisenhower. Really coming off a nice game against Dakota.
Yeah, 27 points against Dakota. Outscored the terrific player Ryan Rollins for the Cougars. But Candela is a guy who can do it all. He'll run the point sometimes. He'll flail out on the wing. He'll attack the rack. He can do it all.
That was a 13-point loss to Dakota, but it was a lot closer than it appeared, as Eisenhower actually had a 15-14 lead after 8 minutes. After 1 quarter of play, they were up. A nice 3-point bucket there scored by Jeremiah Mack. Anytime the big man can step out and knock down a 3, you got to like your chances.
Yeah, and that was a great dribble drive offense on the kick out and was able to find the open man in the corner, and Mack able to knock it down.
And a nice fall-away jumper there by Mateo Candela with a hand in his face.
Yeah, terrific 15-footer on the knockdown. Looked a little bit like a circus shot, but was able to get control of that ball last second in there and knock it home.
Makai Johnson, terrific drive. Can't get it to go. Ripped down by Jake Munn. Up ahead in transition. Here comes the Eagles. Thought about the 3, turns it down, and comes into a double team. You can see how relentless this LCN defense is. I'll say last touch by Jordan Brossett. We've covered enough LCN games over the years to know that Jay Seletsky coach team wants to get it done defensively. And a terrific play from the out of bounds, unable to cash it in. Exactly how you draw that up. Well done, just couldn't get it to fall. A 4 out, 1 in here for LCN. Brossett with the ball. Goes to his left, crosses over now, being guarded by Jake Munn. Munn into the corner now. Mack puts a dribble into it, hands off, and a nice play by Charles Riley. He's looked good in the early goings.
Yeah, and that was a terrific pass set up there by Jamar Mack. Terrific move inside, good court vision, have control of the ball and dish it off to Riley, who put it home.
Wow, this LCN team not afraid to get dirty early. 3 on the way, short, out in transition. Makai Johnson looking for a trailer, will instead defer all the way to the basket and 1.
And he'll get a big response from his Crusader teammates on the bench, all standing and applauding. But that's fundamental basketball right there. Good defense turns into good offense. When you can push that ball in transition, Makai Johnson went 1-on-1.
How about the effort that time defensively by Jamari Mack? Going down to his belly, and a nice play to keep this ball alive as Charles Riley comes down with the offensive rebound. Brossett 3, pure.
And another
Timeout.
offensive rebound for Charles Riley, active on the glass on that free throw. Looked like he was the only one underneath paying attention, and they found the open man in the corner. Terrific job knocking down the open jumper by Brossett.
Coach Antishan asking for a 30-second timeout. He's watched his Eagles fall down early, 12-2. A hot start for LCN. 4 of the 5 starters have scored points. Brossett and Charles Riley leading the way. Riley with 4, Brossett with 3. Jamari Mack also with 3, as Mack and Brossett have both knocked down triples. What a start to this ball game for the Crusaders.
Yeah, and this is a L'Anse Creuse North team riding the wave. They got momentum coming in at 6-1 after. This is a team that pretty much coming back. Johnson, a few other players, only had one win last season, so they're really excited. Finally seeing some W's on the board, and they finally get back home to play some Mac Red games, and they're hot early.
1-20 a season ago, 0-10 in Mac Red play. I know this is hard for you to hear, but their lone victory last season was over L'Anse Creuse. (58-45) victory over their rivals. As Jake Munn answers out of the Ike timeout with a bucket there, so 12-4, 3.5 now left to go. Opening quarter of play. Kai Johnson works his way around the screen. Johnson's three is good. Oh boy, they're heating up for sure. All 5 starters now have scored points.
And that right there by Christian Johnson is a terrific effort. A little lazy on the defensive end for Eisenhower. Christian Johnson got an extra step off of his defender and hit the open jumper.
Look at that defense being applied by Makai Johnson. Candela's harassed. Knockdown, no call. Here comes LCN. Little 3-on-2. The trailer is Christian Johnson. Oh, he couldn't get it to go. Offensive rebound cleaned up by Charles Riley. Mack comes down with it. They're going to say he stepped on the baseline out of bounds.
And if Eisenhower wants to claw back into this game, they're going to have to figure out how to control the glass, specifically Charles Riley, the trailer on that play, coming in for the three-point arc hot and got his hands on that rebound over the top of 2 blue jerseys. You got to control the boards, especially in a situation like that.
So Candela will take a seat for Ike. Where are they going to get their offense? They bring in Anthony Cardamone. A little contact inside, no call. The second chance opportunity results in a foul call. Caladino went hard to the rack. Evan Stanson also into the game for LCN, and he immediately picks up the foul. Both teams now with 1 team foul. 2.5 remaining in the first quarter. 15-4 your score. Working his way around the screen. Nice little floater by Caladino.
And that screen was set up by 44 Anthony Cardamone. Terrific screen and a little 6-foot bunny. That's some good offense.
Ball bounces around inside, finally out of bounds. We'll say last touch by Eisenhower. So LCN will trigger right underneath the basket. It'll be Makai Johnson to flip it in. And a blown coverage there results in points. Evan Stanson, the Crusader that was left open.
And at this high school varsity level, it doesn't get much easier than that, Brad, to be wide open on an inbounds pass.
Really an impressive showing thus far out of LCN, and Caladino might have rushed his shot just a little bit there. Coach Seletsky getting ready to sub in Jeremiah Williams-Stewart. So a lot of substitutions here in the early goings for both teams.
Jay Seletsky will go very deep in his bench with how active they are on the defensive side of the ball. That can take a lot of energy as a player. When you're running those corner traps and you're applying pressure at half court, it takes a lot of energy out of you defensively. So you want to keep those fresh bodies up so you can keep that pressure on.
Man, does this team look night and day different from last year's squad. It's unbelievable. Mack comes down with it. They are handing it to Eisenhower right now as Ike has not really had any sort of response offensively.
And you can credit Jay Seletsky, the head coach for L'Anse Creuse North. He's been here for a while, one of the most respected coaches in this conference, and here's why. 1 year turned around.
3 out of the way, corner pocket in and out. Tough luck missed that time by Makai Johnson. Cardamone, oh, circus shot rejected by Jamari Mack.
Where did Matt come from? He was on the opposite side of the key and came flying in. It looked like he did almost levitated a little bit and just kind of hung in the air and swatted that out of bounds.
Jack McLeod into the game along with Jeremiah Williams-Stewart for the Crusaders. So LCN countering with some big size now on the floor. Candela back into the game. There's that matchup between him and Makai Johnson. Getting the defender up in the air, 3 on the way is good. Good answer there for Mitch Mihalik.
And Mihalik needed to knock that one down for his Eagles. Came off the screen, one step, turned to the side, and was wide open.
That's the type of player you really like bringing off the bench, a player like Mihalik who can come in and knock down a big triple when you need it.
Not only knocking down the triple, but that adds some size to the front end of the lineup for the Eagles, hoping to control the boards. Really
exciting, entertaining brand of basketball here through nearly a quarter of play.
L'Anse Creuse North, it's got to feel good to come home and answering the bell. You finally, you start the year in conference play. You're on the road in a couple tough places to play at Roseville and Chippewa Valley. They're definitely amped up to be playing at their home gym today.
Yeah, that's a long drive down 94 to Roseville. It's going to be a tough place for a lot of MAC Red teams to play out of. We mentioned Roseville and Dakota playing tonight, so one of those teams is going to go 3-0. So the winner of tonight's game here tonight is just trying to keep their hopes alive. You got to just stay in the race. You got to take care of the games in your home gym, as LCN has done that this season. They're perfect here at home. This is their first game within MAC Red play. They're going to have to hurry up and get up a shot. I don't know if they're aware of it. And that will do it for one quarter of play. LCN has really answered the bell here on their home floor. They lead it after one quarter of play, 19-11. We'll take a quick break on Macomb Township Government Access, but when we come back, the second quarter of play.
Hi, I'm Jordan Peele. I'm usually trying way too hard to be funny. Well, right now I'm going to be completely serious with you. Online bullying is a toxic side effect of modern technology. No one's immune to it. Not you, not me, nobody. But there's a way we can fix it. This emoji in the symbol section of your phone's emoji keyboard. Use it when you see bullying online to say, I see what you're doing, not cool, definitely not funny. And I know what funny is. I coined the phrase wordness to the turdness. So join me and become a witness. When you see bullying online, use this emoji to do something. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org.
And we are back. Brad Fetters alongside Adam Abraham coming to you tonight from L'Anse Creuse North High School. In the story thus far, 6 different Crusaders have factored into the scoring, led by Mekhi Johnson and Charles Riley with 4 points. They've also knocked down 3 triples.
And to carry on that conversation from earlier, comparing this last year's Crusaders teams to this year, the difference here is it was really on Johnson and Johnson last year that carried the scoring for the Crusaders in that season. This year, they're getting everyone involved, and it starts on the defensive end, and you're looking for anybody and everybody on offense. This is a full-on team game for the Crusaders.
Unbelievable defense through that first quarter. Brossett goes up out of control slightly. Rebound tracked down by the Eagles. Looking to run out. Mateo Candela held to just 2 points as he was harassed throughout that first quarter, mainly by Mekhi Johnson. They got a little bit of a switch now on him. They got Jeremiah Williams-Stewart guarding Mateo Candela, so a slight size advantage for LCN in terms of length there. Putting a little bit of a taller wing player now on Candela.
Candela has been very quiet thus far, just 2 points for him.
A little hesitation, tough shot. They're going to get LCN there for a shooting foul. Having Stanson second foul. They'll send Candela to the line to shoot 2. And some more changes coming into the game for LCN. We'll get a first look at Connor Zebrunski. Charles Riley back into the game as well for LCN.
You go with Eisenhower coming out with a single man full court press. Looks like trap at half court.
Jordan Brossett. Jack McLeod back to Brossett. Brossett, senior captain for LCN, rocking those bright pink shoes. Fed into the high post, back outside. Shot goes long, rebounded by Eisenhower, pulling up Jake Munn. Over to Caladino, into the corner, three, pure. Candela knocks it down. He's starting to heat up.
That was a terrific pass by Caladino to find the open man. That last defensive possession, it looked like he may have rolled his ankle or something as he was limping defensively, pushed that ball through half court and was able to find the open man for a three. And that's a big answer for Eisenhower's. They've clawed back within 3 points here, Brad.
That was all LCN in that first 8 minutes of play, and you come out here in the second quarter, and Candela knocks down a couple freebies, and then the big three-pointer, and you look up, and what was an 8-point lead, it shrunk down to 3, 19-16 LCN, and Coach Jay Seletsky for LCN not real happy right now with the effort out of his guys, urging them to play a little bit smarter.
Yeah, it seems like they just didn't come out in the second quarter with the same kind of energy they came out in the first quarter with. That's likely something he's telling them, hey, you have to keep playing at that same pace. You're playing 10 out of 10 aggressive on the defensive end. You have to keep that up.
Coach Seletsky's assistant coach this year is Zach Martin. Jeremiah Mack to trigger things in. Jordan Brossett bring things up the floor. So Brossett handling those point guard duties with Makai Johnson on the bench. Jeremiah Williams-Stewart has it now. Goes to his left. High dribble, kept it alive. Charles Riley drives inside. Big Euro step, able to hit it.
Methodical, intentional drive there by Riley. Every step. It wasn't an incredibly fast move, but everything was tactical and intentional, and a terrific drive that time by the big man to get 2 to the rack.
Jake Munn holds that basketball high over his head. Straight away now. 3 on the way, short. Off the iron, rebounded by Brossett. He brings it over the timeline, over to Charles Riley. Right wing, knocks it down.
How about that for the big man? Defensively, you're expecting him to drive like he did on the last possession. You give him that little bit of a space, and he flushes home a 3 wide open on the wing.
Charles Riley quickly up to 9 points, leading all scorers in the ball game. Terrific individual effort by Munn, swatted away. They'll get him for a foul. Williams-Stewart, the guilty party there. Williams-Stewart's first, the 4th team foul now on LCN. They'll send Jake Munn, 6-footer, to the line. First one, nothing but nylon. That's what it's all about in MAC Red play. You got to come in and battle every night.
No.
Split there at the charity line for Jake Munn. LCN substitute Makai Johnson back in. Over to Riley. In between the legs, 3, no good. Goes after his own rebound. When it caught Eisenhower sleeping just a little bit. Into the corner, Mack has it. Mack fires a fastball inside. Riley, nice little sky hook, can't get it to go. Battle for that loose ball is won by Mateo Candela. Was looking to bounce it perhaps off an LCN player.
Brossett almost came away with that. It looked like the ball hit the line right before it fell into the hands of Brossett right in front of the Eisenhower bench.
It's going to be a tough spot now for Eisenhower to inbound. Candela gets brought down by Makai Johnson. Refs deciding that was inadvertent. So now Candela will play on the off guard. They'll give Jake Munn the point guard position. Oh, nice little cut that time by Jake Munn.
Yeah, terrific job by Munn. Got off the pass and headed straight down the lane, and it was fed right back into his hands for 2 points for the Eagles.
Eisenhower's half-court sets look a lot better. That pass was telegraphed. Candela with a terrific fake. Got Jeremiah Mack up in the air, and Mack is hurt. It's a big man going down as Candela went up with the ball fake and got Mack up in the air. And he's holding his midsection.
And Matt came in very aggressive on that last play, trying to get the swat on the block, and just got upended.
So we talked about Candela. He was quiet in the first quarter. It's been the total opposite of that here in the second frame. 7 points. Gives him a team-high 9 now in the contest.
And it shows you how quickly he can get up to that 27 mark like he did against Dakota, just finding shots on the floor.
Big and one there for Charles Riley. Tic-tac-toe passing by LCN methodically up the court. And Charles Riley went hard to the bucket, drew contact, and we'll look to finish off the old-fashioned three-point play.
In the same play Eisenhower ran in their last half-court set where Munn scored the 2. Riley gave it up and immediately got it back on the cut down the lane.
Really impressed by the play of Charles Riley here. And the junior has been all over the floor, both offensively and defensively. He's got 11 points, make it 12 now for the junior. And that was the type of player that LCN was really missing a season ago. A guy that can play that wing, that provides you a lot of length on the outside.
And another utility player where you can go down, he's posted up, he's attacked the rack, he's shot the 3. He's plays incredible defense, a complete player. And only a junior.
Cheetah hands off to Candela. Candela looking for some room to operate. Spins through a couple different players. Jake Munn pulls up into the corner. Cheetah 3, no good. Rims out. Munn comes down with the offensive rebound. Straightaway 3, a little bit of contact perhaps. No call. Another offensive rebound by Cheetah. He draws contact. He got hacked. So Ike not going away. They're battling.
And there you see some energy on the offensive glass by G-Taw. Came flying in off that wing, got a couple second chances.
And it appears Jamari Mack is fine as he's going to check back into this game. It's a good sign if you're a Crusader fan. Candela, look out, curls up and knocks down the 3.
And that's a fadeaway 3 off of a pick right at the feet of head coach Jay Seletsky. Terrific individual effort.
Candela has 10 points in this quarter. Gives him now a team-high 12 points.
And that's why we highlighted him in the open. He's a terrific player. Eisenhower relies on him for his offense, and he can score in bunches.
And every once in a while we get one right, don't we?
Every once in a while.
That blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. Brossett 3, looking for the answer. Ooh, in and out. Rebounded nicely by Charles Riley. Up with the 3 again, no good. That was Christian Johnson. Ball gets up the floor so quickly. Munn in the corner, no good. Tapped out. Brossett able to come down with the rebound, and foul applied by Marsak that time.
That last possession, Munn a little bit too aggressive. He was clapping for it in the far corner and just kind of rushed a shot and came up empty with an air ball. Be a little bit more patient on offense. That's where Eisenhower's seen that success, or that two-man game, that pick-and-roll offense.
2:15 left to go. First half of play, 27-24. LCN's lead swelled up to about 8 points. But Eisenhower has answered numerous times and have gone on some mini runs of their own. Eisenhower has yet to lead. Kai Johnson to throw things in right in front of the Eisenhower bench. Had to rush the pass, and he threw it out of bounds. Charles Riley unable to come down with it.
Yeah, Riley gave chase after that one. Gets a little bit dangerous once you start heading towards those bleacher steps at full speed.
Yeah.
Luckily that time able to run right up them.
Yeah, those expensive seats, those front row seats over there, you get right involved in the action sometimes.
Looks like they're sold out tonight here at Jackson Gymnasium.
Really nice crowd here tonight on a Friday night, 80s night. That's why LCN has worn the throwbacks. Step back 2, a long range 2, no good. LCN looking to add on to a 3-point lead. Johnson gets it. Jay Seletsky calls out the play. Crusaders go into their movement now. Christian Johnson twirls out, gets a screen, drives inside, kicks it right back out. Kai Johnson explores, pull back 2, no good, tapped out of bounds, last touched by LCM. So Charles Riley has all 8 of LCN's second quarter points. So for a team that had all kinds of scoring from secondary sources, it's been a one-man show here in the second quarter of play. Jake Munn drives baseline, gets the floater to fall. Terrific individual effort that time by Jake Munn.
Yeah, just attacked the net and just stronger than Johnson that time. Got maybe a little push off, but got away with it and just muscled that ball in.
Ike has outscored LCN here 15-8, and we got a foul away from the basketball. We'll get Dalton Crum for the foul. Father Phil Crum, one of the assistants on LCN's bench, along with Dave Burns and Ryan Antishan. Kai Johnson gonna give it a go. Terrific dump off pass to Charles Riley. Eagle fans making some noise.
No, sir. Marsack was not going to let that one go, and you can see the momentum swinging here a little bit as we wind down in the second quarter. Eagles now playing with a little bit more energy.
And somebody forgot to guard Riley that time. No harm, no foul. Rebounded down, 3 on the way. Vincent Longo in and out and back down. Iron kind that time for Vincent Longo.
Longo, the bank is open on that terrific shot. Just found him straight away center. Knocked down the 3.
And now a traveling violation against Ike. So more than likely, with 15 seconds remaining, LCN will hold for one final shot here to end the first half of play. Really entertaining game of basketball being played tonight on Macomb Township Government Access. So glad you decided to tune us in tonight. Longo's going to have to go, or Johnson, somebody's going to have to get this one to go. That will not count, as Christian Johnson floated up a long-range 3. So that will do it. 2 quarters in the book. LCN leads it 30-26. Adam, heck of a first half of play.
Yeah, terrific first half, back and forth. LCN dominated the first. Eisenhower clawed back in the second. Excited to see what these coaches are going to do in the locker room, the adjustments they're going to make to try to come back out and see who's going to win this ball game.
We'll take a quick break here in Macomb Township Government Access, but when we come back, the start of the second half of play.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Macomb County, 27 cities, townships, and villages. From East Point to Memphis, Romeo to New Baltimore. 458 square miles of where you want to be. It's a place where your children can grow, and so can your business. Macomb County's tree-lined borders contain over 12,000 acres of parkland. Its outer edge, 31 miles of freshwater shoreline, both filled each year with countless concerts, festivals, and family reunions. It's the birthplace of advanced technologies that not only instruct future generations, but protect them. Hey, and those are just facts. You can get that from the internet or a book. No. To truly understand what Macomb County is all about, you need to experience it. You need to live here. You need to work here. When you do that, you'll know you're home.
Nearly set to go second half of play from L'Anse Creuse North High School. The host Crusaders out in front 30-26. And Adam, really a nice balance of scoring for LCN, as 7 different scorers have factored into the scoring here tonight, led by Charles Riley's 12 points.
Yeah, and a lot of their scorings come from transition offense that relayed back from the defense, and they're coming off the offensive glass on the second chance points. They're doing a terrific job playing as an entire team game.
As for Eisenhower, only 4 scorers led by Mateo Candela. No surprise there. He has 12 points. So LCN with the very first possession of the second half. It'll be Jordan Brossett, point guard position. Makai Johnson drives baseline, wraparound pass, gets it right back, goes up top to Christian Johnson.
Looks like Eisenhower's come out in a 2-3 zone.
Switch it up now to a little man-on-man. Christian Johnson crosses over, fires it to the wing. Christian Johnson over to Brossett. 3 on the way, bangs it home.
Terrific start to the second half for the Crusaders. The Crusaders came out at halftime with about 30 seconds left on the clock. Didn't put up a single warm-up shot, so they got every word from head coach Jay Seletsky on breaking this game down.
And a really nice baseline drive, little backdoor cut. Candela was fouled. They'll say the foul occurred on the floor. A little hold that time. Second personal on Makai Johnson.
And Mac and Candela will share a moment of sportsmanship afterwards on the little push underneath.
Jake Munn unable to get the follow up the fall. Jake Munn really been active, especially on the offensive glass. Ripping down that rebound. A Halick for Eisenhower. Jamari Mack bodied up that time. He hits the floor.
And that's not going to be a popular call with the home crowd here, as they're going to get the jump ball in the possession. Crusaders faithful, thought it might have been a little push underneath. Ooh.
Eisenhower, some really nice sets from those inbound plays.
Yeah, they've ran 3 or 4 plays where they've had wide open looks on that trigger pass.
The time it was Marsack, it was open in the corner. He couldn't get the 3 to fall. Christian Johnson drives baseline into the corner for Mack. And they're going to call Mack there for a travel. Coach Seletsky doesn't agree, and it's kind of just a big gather step there by Mack, and now Mack comes up limping just a little bit.
Coach Seletsky looking for an explanation on that travel, still talking to the referee, just wants an explanation. It looked like a clean jump stop. The referee thought otherwise.
And Mack gonna track that one down, keeps it alive, slips a little bit, and will turn it over. Candela will defer now to Jake Munn, who will slowly bring it over the timeline. 5:45 left to go, 33-26, LCN out in front. And only 3 points of this third quarter belongs to the Crusaders. Munn now trapped on that far side, able to work out of it. Defers now to Candela. Candela slowing things down. Applying a little bit of pressure now is Johnson. LCN bench makes some noise, urging their defensive players on. A little high dribble, able to gather. Gets up the floater, no good. Was looking for the finger roll. And another offensive rebound for the Eagles. 3 on the way for Munn. He knocks it home.
Terrific court vision that time to find the open man. It's Munn on the far wing, elected to cross the court with that pass and buries the wide open 3.
Both teams knocking down shots from distance. It's been a shooter's night tonight. Lazy pass there by Mack is intercepted by Eisenhower. Out in transition. Dribbling into a double team, having to pull up now. Gitaw, he has the ball stripped. So helter-skelter play now from both sides. Kai Johnson works through it. Riley thought about it, that hesitation resulting in the traveling call.
Yeah, that time I think that was a legitimate traveling call, as Riley just hesitated with that long drawn-out ball fake and just slipped on his dragged his back foot just enough to get the call.
Candela barking out the instructions. Crosses over. Pocket pick that time beautifully by Mekhi Johnson. Oh, circus land.
Terrific individual effort that time by Mekhi Johnson, the senior guard. Absolutely clean pick of his pocket and finishes terrifically on the offensive end.
18-footer, no good. Candela will try the 15-footer. He knocks it down.
Mekhi Johnson's a little bit upset with his teammates on that set. It was a lazy box out by the Crusaders. Should not have let that guard come in and get that rebound and gave up 2 points. Mekhi Johnson showing some leadership out there, talking to his guys, hey, you need to box him out, control the boards.
Eisenhower's had a lot of second and third chance opportunities on the offensive end, haven't they?
Yeah, in the second and third quarter especially.
Mekhi Johnson answers with a deuce of his own.
You know, in the first quarter, it was all LCN, all over that glass, but it's kind of slowed down, and Eisenhower overall is just a little bit taller at pretty much every position, and they're utilizing it.
Longo comes in on the double team, nearly came away with a steal. Vincent Longo's really out there for two things, to knock down some long-range shots and apply some defense. Coach Antishan wanted a call there. Riley goes up, can't get it to go. Was looking for the bank shot that time. Mekhi Johnson might have gotten away with a little bit of a reach, and Candela, terrific dump-off play. Very unselfish play that time, and Jake Munn said he got blasted in the face.
Yeah, he got hit on the actual last possession. Johnson just cherry picks that too, but Munn telling his coach that he cannot see out of his left eye, or his right eye, excuse me. Looks like he may just have gotten a contact knocked loose.
Yeah, no training staff. Yep, he's going straight to the locker room. So always good to have a backup pair of contact lenses. Boy, and that right eye already looks like it's swelling up. Yep. Good to have disposable contact lenses.
And not going to try to look for that one on this basketball court.
Get down on your hands and knees and start exploring. So 39-33, 2:40 left to go. Third quarter of play. So Jake Munn back in the locker room. Should be out fairly shortly, I would think. Get that contact pop back in the eye.
Give him a little break as we wind down in the third quarter.
Both of these teams trading blows here in this third quarter of play. The pace has picked up. It's gotten a little bit more frantic, teams knocking down triples, getting going in transition. I thought that play by Mekhi Johnson, you called it a little bit of a cherry pick. And you blink and he scored. A little hesitation dribble that time by Gitaw. We'll defer now to Candela. Candela explores. Might have had that shot altered just a little bit, but once again, it's Ike that comes down with the offensive rebound. Dalton Crum that time out of the guard position came down with it. Candela with 14 points. Dribbles between the legs. Here comes the double team now. And looking for the offensive foul. No call that time. Adam Check with the bucket.
I thought that was pretty good defense there by Vince Longo. He set his feet and took that body of probably about a foot he had on him.
Mekhi Johnson hangs and hits. Johnson, 9 points in this quarter, 13 total in the game. Longo comes down with it. He looks up floor. Will just hold on to it and goes to Johnson now. Johnson feeling a little heat check. Long off the back heel. Rebounded down by Stenson. And what do we got here? Foul from the ref furthest away.
Certainly a foul, as it was Evan Stanson, the junior forward that was on the offensive glass that time for the Crusaders, got tied up.
So no foul. They'll just say jump ball, possession arrow to the Crusaders. The way the referee came in from half court, I thought it was a foul call. 7-point lead, approaching the 1 minute remaining mark of this third quarter. Into the high post, right back out. Johnson from the corner. Bench rises up. He can't get it to the goal. Jake Munn back into the game now. Goes up with it. Floater. Hangs up there a while. It doesn't fall.
Munn comes back into the game just as aggressively as he came out of that game. Just hung on that little 6-foot bunny floater. Couldn't hit. That's a good look from the Eisenhower guard.
So LCN here in this third quarter has opened their lead up to 7. High screen. A couple players coming together that time with Riley and Candela. A little push and then shoving now. As Makai Johnson will just let this third quarter clock bleed off just a little bit. Playing some keep away. Johnson now goes up with the scoop and score.
How about that by the point guard to get down to the lane? Terrific shot.
Boy, Makai Johnson, what a third quarter of play out of the senior point guard. 15 now in the game, 11 here in the third. Candela was looking for a foul call. He doesn't get it, and now he comes together with Makai Johnson. Oh, boy. We should be in store for one heck of a fourth quarter. We'll take one final break here at Macomb Township Government Access. LCN out in front, 44-35.
I'll be right back.
Hi. You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Welcome back, Dave Jackson Gymnasium. Brad Fetters alongside Adam Abraham, and what a quarter to play by Makai Johnson there in the third. Only 2 Crusaders scored, and that's really all they needed.
It was Brosset hit that 3 to start off the second half of the Crusaders, and then Makai Johnson comes in with a hot 11 points to put him up to 15 for the game.
LCN outscores Eisenhower 14-9 in that third quarter. Lead now back up to 9, one of the largest of the night for LCN. As Eisenhower went on that little bit of a mini run. We know the game of basketball is all about little mini runs, but it's been LCN that's been able to answer the bell seemingly all night long. And they've gotten it done with defense as the bench gives a round of applause once again for the effort here. Johnson and Johnson on the floor.
Terrific job all the way around for the Crusaders. Not only that on-ball defense, but off-ball face guarding every shooter out there. Nowhere to go with the basketball for the Eagles. 45 seconds into the shot clock, or into the quarter, excuse me. There's no shot clock at this level. And now we're almost a minute in, and they haven't even gotten a look, Brad.
Johnson and Johnson, Mack, McLeod. Tap away. Check that, Stanson's out there, along with William Stewart. 5 on the floor for LCN. Candela, he got a little bit of a breather there, 1 minute break. He'll come back into the basketball game. Jake Munn will trigger things into Candela. Marsak on the floor as well, along with Gitaw and Luke Adamchek. Battle for it. Mack comes down with it. Wiped clean off the glass.
Makai Johnson got beat at half court by Candela right off that. Candela starts moving the ball around. Fantastic recovery by the Crusaders as they were fouling, started to change players. And a great job defensively, burning a minute and a half off the clock.
Nice little peel that time by William Stewart. And Coach Seletsky dialing up the play now. Christian Johnson kept that play alive somehow. Mack drives baseline up and under, no good. Ball comes all the way out to the top of the key. William Stewart hands it. We'll just hand off now to Makai Johnson. Driving left-hand side. He draws contact. No call. They'll say it was a clean strip. Ball ended up out of bounds. It'll stay with LCN.
Certainly a time for the Crusaders to exercise patience on the offensive end, as that clock is your friend. You're up 9, and the way you're playing defense to start off that fourth, you're certainly comfortable.
This kind of reminds me of an old school Bo Ryan basketball game out of Wisconsin, right? The first to 50 is going to win. William Stewart, 3. Oh, he knocks it down.
Right in front of his fellow peers over on the Crusaders side of the basketball court. Got a fresh round of applause. And that's a big-time shot.
LCN has been draining shots from downtown all night long. The three-pointer has really been the difference here tonight. And we got an old-fashioned and one here. Terrific drive that time by Mario Gitaw.
And it was Mitch Mihalik with that pick on the top of the screen. Gitaw was able to get around him and get to the rack. Quick feet by the big man, by Mario Gitaw, to be able to get to the rack and earning 3 the easy way.
Off the front iron, no good. Offensive rebound momentarily brought down by Mihalik. And they'll say tie up, possession arrow, LCN.
Head coach Tommy Antishan from the Eisenhower Eagles, he's going to laugh that one off. I definitely think he got his timeout hands out there before they called that jump ball. But he didn't get it.
And Jay Seletsky asking for a timeout, and he's going to get it. It will be a full timeout. So, looking ahead for both teams, we'll start out with the Eisenhower Eagles. They're going to have to go back on the road next week and take on Sterling Heights Stevenson before returning home to take on Roseville and Chippewa Valley, a team Eisenhower has already beat this season. They beat the Big Reds, as Big Reds have started out league play 0-2. So, it's going to be all league games all the time for both of these schools. As for LCN, boy, they got a tough one coming up next week. They're going to go on the road to take on Dakota before returning home to play 3 straight. So they open up league play with 3 out of 4 on the road before returning home to play those 3 home games against Stevenson, Roseville, and Chippewa Valley.
And I don't think that works against the Crusaders per se. You obviously want to get some home games in, but being front-loaded on the away games helps you in the back end of the season when you start gearing up for the MAC crossover tournaments and you head into district play. You like to be at home.
Dakota and Roseville off to that perfect 2-0 start in league play, and we saw that Dakota squad, and they were a little short-handed when we saw them, and really came away impressed with their performance.
Yeah, and Ryan Rowlands just controls that whole game for that Dakota team. Hey, it'll be a fun matchup down there. We'll see what the Crusaders can do in that next week's game to control Rowlands.
As we mentioned, Dakota's at home tonight taking on Roseville, so first place on the line, and these two teams just trying to keep pace as neither team wants to drop that second league game. Christian Johnson just going to slow things down now. He looks up at the big board. 4:50 now left to go, fourth quarter. Johnson in the corner for Mack. Mack can shoot the 3. He's a dangerous player from outside. A little toss up there, a little 50-50 ball. Ill-advised perhaps as Candela goes the other way and gets the easy lay-in. So now Eisenhower is going to apply a little full court pressure, and why not? Johnson goes up, foul. Nope, they're going to say he traveled. Oh, boy.
Jay Seletsky's going to get a little hot down on the Crusaders sideline, but my opinion, it's pretty fair. Referee's not going to offer Coach Seletsky an explanation on that call. It certainly looked like he got whacked before the travel occurred.
And now they're going to say a foul away from the basketball, so maybe perhaps a makeup call. We can speculate that from up here, right? That's
absolutely,
fair.
And it was the referee on the opposite side that Jay Seletsky had asked the first referee who made the travel call to go ask for help, and he refused to ask for help. Being an official myself, I would honestly admit that sometimes that does occur between partners.
There's nothing wrong for asking for help, right?
Nothing's wrong asking for help. You can't see everything.
Especially at the speed at which this game moves. And Seletsky really not happy with that inbound either. Thought his player should have been given a little bit more room along the sidelines. Mack goes up strong and will shoot 2. Gets rewarded for his efforts.
Good move by Mack. He loves coming from that far corner, attacking that baseline and coming up and underneath. This time he's rewarded with 2 shots.
Kind of get the sense that things are starting to slip away here for Eisenhower. Coach Antishin asking for a timeout. He might sense that as well. How's Eisenhower going to get back into this basketball game now down 9 points?
You got to start working it on the defensive end. LCN is really being patient on the offensive end, so you got to get aggressive defensively, which they did in this last set. You got to work that ball back into transition. But if you want to identify something down, Jay Seletsky spends about the first 15 seconds of a full timeout. He did it in the last possession too, identifying the personnel in the opposite bench, looking out, and then he'll come into the huddle with about 40 seconds to go to draw it up. So that really speaks to the tactician that Jay Seletsky is for this LCN team.
And he can afford to do that with the full timeout when guys are taking those seats for that full 60 seconds. So only 3 team fouls for Eisenhower. That's another thing to pay attention to, is they haven't really been in much foul trouble. So getting them into that bonus to shoot 1 and 1 and maybe extend this game is going to be a little difficult right now for Eisenhower.
Certainly, and I think that's Coach Antishin's might have been one of his comments in the huddle, because this Eisenhower, that last offensive possession for L'Anse Creuse North, they got really physical really quickly. So Antishin starting to figure out the way this game's going to go. You get an intentional foul situation, you kind of want to be at 7. You know, you only got, I believe they had 6 in the first half, so no individual players in foul trouble. But that ain't going to work.
A takeaway there and another steal.
Jay Seletsky taking out clipboards down at the Crusaders.
And a 3, nice answer there for Mihalik. He's a knockdown shooter. So don't look now, but the lead's down to 7, 49-42, 3:15 left to go in regulation. Oh, nice skip pass inside. Mack gets hauled down. Boy, this has been a physical game, and Mack has taken the majority of those blows here tonight.
I was just going to mention that. That's the 3rd or 4th time he's hitting the floor hard. That speaks to the kind of physical, definitely a built player on the wing, and he loves to get physical down low and attack in the rack. Not a guy afraid to get down into the lane.
That touched every bit of the cylinder before falling through. Mack, 6 points in the ball game, but he has been involved in every facet of the game. He's done a little bit of everything tonight for Coach Seletsky. So lead back up to 9. It's kind of yo-yoed back and forth between 9 and 7 points. As Eisenhower hasn't been able to really come up with any outbursts of points.
You know, you're really looking at this Eisenhower offense. They've been struggling this game outside of Munn and Candela. That last was a design 3 on the spot up from the wing for Candela. I expect to see a few more of those.
Coach called timeout there. Coach Seletsky really didn't like the look of that half-court set. Kai Johnson brought the ball over with a really beautiful crossover dribble and then kind of floated a very dangerous pass, I thought, to Christian Johnson, and finally got the timeout called. So kind of looking ahead, if you want, we can talk a little bit about the district pairings, and obviously we don't know how that's going to happen because the way the district are now being seeded, it's all based on your regular season success, but L'Anse Creuse North is going to go on the road to play a district all the way up in Port Huron Northern, along with Dakota, Anchor Bay, and Port Huron Northern and Port Huron. So that will be the district makeup for LCN this season. And for Eisenhower, they too will go on the road, and they'll travel to Rochester to play out of the Rochester district, along with Stony Creek, Troy, and Utica.
What a difficult draw for the L'Anse Creuse North Crusaders on that district, geographically having to travel up for Port Huron. What's it, about 45 minutes from here, roughly?
Yeah.
To get up to Northern?
Not quite that long, but yeah, nice long bus trip up 94. Port Huron Northern, Port Huron, you talk about St. Clair, Marysville playing out of the MAC. Those are long bus trips. Geographically speaking, Roseville, probably the pretty much southern boundary of Macomb County. Playing out of the red once again this season after capturing a co-share of the MAC Red Championship a season ago along with Stevenson.
That's a fun gym to play in. That's a small gym that gets really loud.
The Roseville gym?
Absolutely.
And they just added a brand new floor there, so making the strides now that they're in the MAC's top league. And they're off that 2-0 start once again this year, looking to repeat. That would have been a big three, but a tough luck miss for Mihalik. Jita and Johnson going to have some words now, and Johnson puts up his hands as to say, I'm not doing anything wrong, Coach. And Jita will get called for the foul. So all of a sudden, that's the 6th team foul on Eisenhower. So the fouls have quickly added up here after we both talked about the lack of fouls being called on Eisenhower.
Yeah, and it's credit to they're getting really aggressive, and looks like they're going to go into an intentional foul scenario. Now they're shooting 1-and-1. I think that's a smart move on the part of the Eagles. 2 minutes ago, 9 points. You kind of need every little bit of that 2 minutes to fight back into this game. And no individual player is in foul trouble for Eisenhower. 2 fouls apiece for every player on the floor, except for Jake Munn, who does not have a single foul.
So they'll put Christian Johnson on the line to shoot the 1-and-1. Earns a second. So we'll see if LCN can put the finishing touches on this game and improve to 2-1 in league play.
And they can very quickly get out of here if they hit a few of these free throws. Of course, a couple times we've seen a couple different teams struggle with free throws at the back end of the game.
That Dakota team that we talked about earlier really had some struggles in their win over West Bloomfield. 3 on the way, good, wow, nice. Knockdown 3 by Marsack.
Christian Johnson's gonna be holding, looks like his stomach area. Looks like he may have caught an inadvertent elbow.
So 53-45, 138 left to go in regulation. And Christian Johnson, hands on his hips. He does not look happy right now.
Surprised there's not a substitution in right now, as he's really trying to walk this off.
So Mack now to the line after the 8th team foul on Eisenhower. And Mack, boy, he's got a shooter's touch there at the free throw line. All 3 of his free throws have barely dropped. And they've hit every inch of iron.
It's that home iron. It's a little bit different, a little bit friendlier than being on the road.
Yeah, call it good rotation, right?
Absolutely.
6 points out of Mack here in the 4th quarter gives him 9. Really solid effort and a secondary role out of him tonight. And he comes down with another rebound and another foul call on Eisenhower. Will put Mack back on the line. So we'll see that sweet rotation out of his free throws once again. 55-45, 127 left to go. We talk about it. Mac Red, very similar to the Big Ten play where just kind of got to hold serve at home and come in every so often and steal one on the road.
It's tough to win at some of these gyms the way some of these student sections get involved. Chippewa Valley's one you think of. They always have great attendance.
Jamari Mack willed that one home. So 57-45, 80 seconds left in regulation. Eisenhower needs some instant offense, and now Mack's going to apply a foul. Only the 4th team foul. So LCN technically has a couple more to give, and Coach Antishin's going to take a quick timeout. And it'll be a full timeout. Can't take him with you, so he'll call it.
Well, likely a situation where we mentioned it earlier, some of these sets they're coming out of on the trigger inbound passes that they've had some good looks, some really good looks 4 or 5 times on this end of the floor alone for the Eagles. So we'll see what Coach Tom Antishin can draw up for his team.
And
likely probably going to be a quick shot to Candela somewhere on the wing and fire it right up and try to get that shot up within 3 seconds of that inbound pass.
And what a turnaround for this LCN squad. We talked about it. They went 1-20 a season ago, 0-10 in league play, only averaged 47 points per game. We're beaten twice, obviously, by this Eisenhower team, 49-40 over at Ike and 67-49 here on their home floor. And this team looks night and day different than the squad that was on the floor for head coach Jay Seletsky a season ago.
And something I remember calling the games here last year that Coach Seletsky said, he said he really had to get back to fundamentals and really break the team down. There were things where his first time in coaching, there were things he was having to teach his players that he wasn't used to having to teach. So he really broke down them fundamentally last season, and they're reaping the rewards this season for their hard work.
Yeah, a lot of players are back from that team a season ago, and it's an additional year of experience. And hey, listen, sometimes you just got to take your lumps, right? You got to learn to lose before you can learn to win. And I think that's the case here with this LCN team, as they will more than likely improve now to 7-1. I think it's safe to say a 12-point lead with 66 seconds. They'll improve to 7-1. More importantly, 2-1 in MAC Red play.
Yeah, and they're quickly setting themselves up in position to be able to make a run at the division title this year. Of course, everyone's kind of playing second fiddle to Dakota. Not a whole lot of respect going around in the MAC Red outside of that Dakota Cougars team this year. But certainly LCN, they're to watch, and we mentioned it 2 weeks ago covering the Dakota game. Brad, look, LCN's 5-1.
And as we mentioned, those two teams will hook up. A clean block there by Riley, and he floats one up, can't get it to fall as it hits the front iron. So LCN's next opponent will be Dakota on the road. That's going to be a tough ball game. If they can somehow go in and beat Dakota, that would open up a lot of eyes. Brossett now, you're just holding on to the basketball here, and Eisenhower's looking to foul, I guess. Referees aren't going to call anything, and Riley now finally gets fouled. Mihalik.
No, Coach
Mihalik is going to have a talk there with Coach Seletsky.
That's a situation where as a referees, an intentional foul is an intentional foul. It's really not up to the referee to call it or not. If you're in a situation, Coach Antishin's going to get on the referees about this now, and I agree with them. If you're in a situation and your players intentionally foul, and there were two good ones there where there was clear contact made, it was clear what they're doing, you put your athletes in a dangerous position.
Well, play devil's advocate. Referee's job's not to anticipate a foul call. So he has to see clearly a foul. He can't anticipate it, because then you're getting yourself into a lot of trouble. A little 2-on-1, 3-on-1. Oh, look at that. Showtime here tonight at LCN as The Crusaders will just continue to pour it on, and now Eisenhower will get loose in transition, and that will do it. Really a nice victory here tonight on their home floor as LCN will take it 61-47, your final score. Adam, your thoughts here tonight?
Terrific team game by L'Anse Creuse North, and they're really looking good defensively, offensively. This is something the team should be proud of. On the opposite for Eisenhower, it's a tough loss. This is a tough gym to come in and play at. It's certainly some things you can take home and build upon as we move forward in the MAC Red play.
So LCN will improve to 7-1, 2-1 in MAC Red play. Eisenhower falls to 3-6, 1-2 in league play. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our camera operators tonight, James Drum and Jason Burnt. For my broadcast partner, Adam Abraham, I'm Brad Fetter saying goodnight from L'Anse Creuse North High School. Once again, final score 61-47, LCN over Ike.